So, Mr. Sund, you also did not anticipate that you wouldn't get significant intelligence about the threat. Isn't that true?
That is correct. With the intelligence,
You would have anticipated that either your own department or other federal agencies would have alerted you to the risk. Isn't that true?
like I've said, this could have been preventable if we had gotten the intelligence they had.
And isn't it also true that you would not have anticipated and did not anticipate that you wouldn't get support from up the chain when you requested the National Guard before and on January 6th? Isn't that true?
That is correct, sir.
And during a February 2021 joint Senate hearing, former House Sergeant at Arms Paul Irving testified that on January 6, 2021, he did not receive a request from you for National Guard assistance until around 2 p.m. Is that accurate?
That is not accurate, sir.
When did you ask for it?
12:58 p.m. was my first call to Paul Irving. I had a number of people that were surrounding me that were aware I was calling, and he was fully aware of just how bad it was outside because he had his representative to the command center right behind me sending him all the information of what was happening. And I did not get the approval at 12:58 p.m.
And he still said he was going to run it up the chain.
He's going to run it up the chain. It took 71 minutes to get an approval.
To get it run up the chain.
Yes, sir.
And your assumption, although you testified that you don't know for sure that it went to Nancy Pelosi, your assumption is that because the Sergeant at Arms, while elected by the members of the House, is generally put on the ballot by the Speaker and serves at the direction of the Speaker, so you assumed, as most people would, that it was the Speaker that was the top of the chain.
Yeah, that was my assumption.
Based on the flow chart that I'm aware of, there is nobody between the Sergeant at Arms and the Speaker. Do you know of somebody in between the two of them?
No, sir, I don't.
I don't either. All right. Now, you had some phone calls with Mr. Irving. Do you have the records of what times you had those phone calls?
Yes, sir, I do.
Would you please tell them to the committee?
Let's see, if I don't have them, I'd be happy to submit my phone records. My phone records have all been submitted. They were submitted to the Senate hearing, full accounting of my phone records. Yeah, I don't have hold on just a second. I don't have the exact times.
But you made, my recollection is, and I've read your book, but my recollection is you made several calls within a relatively short period of time. If it took 71 minutes to run up the chain, is my information correct that you called 3 times, the first one that you just told us about, and then 2 more during that 71 minutes?
No. Those are calls with Speaker Pelosi. Those that I just went over those times, those were calls with Speaker Pelosi.
Oh, those were calls with Speaker Pelosi.
Between 12:58 and 2:09, when I finally got approval 71 minutes later, I made 11 calls to the Sergeant at Arms asking what's going on, first asking for the request, and then 10 follow-up calls saying what's going on with the request.
11 calls during the
yes, and
roughly an hour and 10 minutes.
And during that time, I was calling every leader of every agency, Gary Settles with Virginia State Police, Secret Service, anybody I could get to come to my aid. I activated mutual aid around the Maryland, Virginia, and that's what brought in the New Jersey State Police at 1:51 p.m. Still while calling every couple of minutes to find out where the hell my approval was for the National Guard.
Now, being from Virginia, did the Virginia state troopers come in to help?
Yes, sir, they did.
And did they get here before the National Guard, too?
Yes, sir, they did.
Wow. All right. USCP hired Julie Farnham as the Assistant Director of Intelligence and Interagency Coordination Division in November of 2020 when the former director retired. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And she testified previously that you wanted to overhaul the department. Is that correct?
She wanted
to overhaul the department.
She may have. I'm not aware.
Okay. All right. So but did you think at the time, on January 6th, did you think your intelligence department was defective?
That is correct. I thought the intelligence they were providing us
prior to January 6th?
Oh, prior to January 6th, absolutely. They had been effective on any previous demonstration. I mean, we handled a Supreme Court nomination where we made hundreds of arrests, and that was effective intelligence. Absolutely.
That was effective. So they were effective prior to January 6th. You didn't see the cracks in the system until after that. Is that accurate?
That is correct, sir.
All right. I appreciate your testimony here today, and I'm glad you've been able to correct some of the misstatements that have been made by others, and I yield back.
Thank you, sir.